It just might be a summer of reckoning in 2026 for Hollywood as they're wrecking their entire industry. But the spring, a completely different story. Project Hail Mary, Mario, and yes, Michael, all winning at the box office bigly. But the woke films are coming. The woke films are coming. And Hollywood knows audiences may reject them for, dare we say, the final time. It's a groovy time. It's a great time, folks. Every time you're inclined to click on one of our videos and join us, we get together to endeavor explaining entertainment. Keeping you ahead of the culture curve is what we do. We do it with a passion, a zeal that even the Holly Weirds can feel. Folks, if you like content like this, but you want even spicier stuff, check out the Patreon. It's www.patreon.com/WDW Pro, where everybody goes for tomorrow's headlines. All right, today we're talking box office. We're talking about summer expectations, and maybe audiences going on vacation from the cinemas after one heck of a spring. Why? We'll tell you on the other side. Movies this spring have been winning and winning and winning some more. Michael, a movie that does not stray from the idea that Michael Jackson was a very strange guy with a pathological family, but is distinctly not woke whatsoever, has reclaimed the box office top spot in its fourth weekend. And that's not all. Of course, this being covered by ABC News. That's not all, folks. We've also seen Project Hail Mary. We've seen Mario. I can't believe it, but Wizard was right. The Sheep Detectives, great movie. Movie after movie that goes back to traditional storytelling, they're winning. And maybe even we include The Devil Wears Prada too, which is kind of shocking as well.
It's great for its audience.
It's great for its audience. But every single week, we're here bringing you news about these movies. And look at this. It even says Amazon MGM Studios had 3 movies in the top 10, including The Sheep Detectives in 5th place. The Sheep Detectives came in 5th place. Way to go. It's the worst marketed movie ever, but it's a darn good film.
So good.
And what has been happening as a result of this? Well, if we go to the top 100 for music, everything's Drake right now, which, folks, the Iceman album. But if we go down, you got to understand, the Michael Jackson movie has been out for like 4 weeks. Michael Jackson is back in the top 100 for America's top songs. He's in the top 100. Billie Jean is number 36. Number 38 is Human Nature. If we go down, Michael Jackson, 51, Dirty Diana. Michael Jackson, number 52, Beat It. Keep going down. Michael Jackson, number 64, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. And there are more actually here. Number 81, Pretty Young Thing. Why do I say all this? And my favorite film so far of the first half of the year, Project Hail Mary. The reason I bring this up is because you would think that Hollywood would be celebrating. You'd think they'd be on cloud 9. They're not. The New York Post is talking about this right now. Johnny Oleksinski says these questions will terrify Hollywood this summer. Why would Hollywood be terrified right now? Well, because the kinds of movies that were placed for the spring are not the kinds of movies which will be ringing in the summer. It says, we're almost there. Summertime. Grilling in the backyard, lounging at the pool. Rose all day. Pretty soon we won't have a care in the world, but not Hollywood. For Tinseltown, the next 3 months mean that a series of frightening existential questions will be posed on a near weekly basis. This is by far the most massive movie summer in theory anyway since 2019, with Star Wars, Spielberg, Christopher Nolan, Marvel, DC, Pixar, and a Disney live-action flick all jockeying for position. There's a lot of competition and everybody can't come out on top. By Labor Day, we'll know who the winners were and who's crying under their LA desks. Here's what will have Hollywood really sweating as the weather heats up. It goes on to ask, can Star Wars do it anymore? It says, can Spielberg even make a hit again? Supergirl, will that be the end of James Gunn? And it keeps going and going. They have been, and we've covered this, they have been having hits all spring, but those movies were likely scheduled for the spring outside of Mario because they were worried those films wouldn't be hits with audiences, so they couldn't compete in the summer. And now the summer films might be bummers. And that's because what they're finding out is audiences wanted what they put out in February, March, and April. Traditional films. And they are scared to death that after this spring, the summer is going to be glum for them. It's crazy, but it's true. Steph, what say you when it comes to films like Supergirl and so many of these other things that they go back into the woke Hollywood playbook? This could be the summer of reckoning for them.
It really could be. And not only that, but like a lot of these franchises, they've just lost their audience. So I think these are movies that are banking on box office, are banking on kids being out of school, going and watching them. But at the same time, those kids that are out of school who would go and watch these aren't engaging in any of these franchises. So who do they have left when they have the audience that they drove away? And they're trying to garner any interest in that audience, any glimmer of interest in that audience to get them to go to the theater. But they're pretty much disenfranchised now. So they should be worried. They really should be worried because the audience just doesn't trust them. They've given up on the franchise, especially with Star Wars. Like, there is zero interest in Star Wars, no matter how much they try to lie and say, oh, the interest is up by a couple of points, according to this article. No, there's no interest in Star Wars. They can try and parade around Baby Yoda all they want. It's just the novelty of that character is gone, and the movie is probably most likely going to flop. Nobody's interested in Supergirl. All of the decisions that James Gunn has made so far with the DCU have been terrible decisions. And as Toy Story, like the Toy Story movie, after the third one, that's it. People are like, they reject the fourth one. We don't need a fifth one. So I think that they have every right to be worried, because all the movies that are coming out right now are just slop movies. To me, at least, they're slop movies. They are brain rot slop movies that I have zero interest in. And if I wasn't actually on YouTube, I wouldn't be going and watching them. All of the movies that I'm interested in are the ones that you just mentioned. So,
and I think they're totally terrified of a reality where Project Hail Mary is beloved by audiences, and the Odyssey with Christopher Nolan is not.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And now Comic Book Guy is reporting this just very recently. The Odyssey official trailer on YouTube has now become the most disliked movie trailer in Christopher Nolan's career ever. And Marv, if that's true, I think we need to be covering that.
I'll look into it.
Yeah.
We'll need to fact check that, but this could be the case, and that is huge news. And I don't know. I'm not trying to prejudge the film. When it comes out, we'll see what's in it. But it definitely, when the trades are defending it by comparing it to Snow White and The Little Mermaid from Disney, that's not a winning strategy. Those films don't need to be in any kind of defense if you want to win.
So last Tuesday, I went to the movie theater. My wife, she wanted to go see Michael again. And I was like, oh, this will be fun. We'll just go. We'll have the whole theater to ourselves, be empty, whatever. Full theater. On a great Tuesday night, that theater was full, and people were like just glued to it. I mean, 4 weeks in. And here's another thing. You got... they kicked Mortal Kombat out of most of the IMAX theaters and put Michael back in. That's how it got to the top of the charts.
And Hollywood
got all the
hated
premium screens back. Yeah,
Hollywood hated the Michael movie.
Hated it.
They were just totally put off by Mario. They just said, this is so silly. When it came to Project Hail Mary, it was a giant meh. They don't want to admit that now, but if you guys remember, all the articles going into Project Hail Mary's release were about how it could not be profitable, and this was a huge mistake by Amazon, and how silly they were for investing in this movie. Mm-hmm. They have hated on every movie audiences have loved. And now the movies that they are determined to love, audiences may not like. And here we go, right? Why Elon Musk and his troll army's attacks aren't just silly, but wildly inaccurate about the Odyssey.
Yeah, that's par for the course for the mainstream media, right? Like they're not here for the audience. So of course they're going to dislike everything the audience likes and like everything that the corporations tell them to like. That's who they're being paid by. They're being paid to push an agenda or to push a narrative or to push an article by all of these corporations. Hey, make Disney look great. Push all of these Pedro articles out there and say that it's the most anticipated Star Wars movie ever. Put that out there when in reality it's not. And
how many articles, Steph, have we seen where they're like, Pedro is what masculinity should be?
Oh my gosh, yeah. There's at least five. Like at least five.
You put together
There's
a whole thing
lot
of it,
more because I've saved a bunch of them.
Look at the way Variety defends this, okay? On the right side. Everybody read this, and you tell me if this is the worst defense you could come up with. Like, I feel like we trolled them, and we sent this to them and said, do it. I promise it'll work. Variety says, from the team that brought you Why is Snow White Latina? Why are there black people in the Rings of Power? And Star Wars has gone woke comes the latest onslaught against the diverse cast of the Odyssey.
All those great comparisons of wild breakout successes.
I mean, my gosh.
And we were talking about impressions earlier. This got 4 million impressions, and it was all audience members, all people laughing at them and telling them how ridiculous this article is. Like they're getting the impressions, but everyone's making fun of them and telling them how crappy the mainstream.
You know how you can tell that, folks. Look at the numbers: 4.3 million views, less than 6,000 people. Okay, so I don't know what the percentage is there. I'm not going to run the math that quickly. Somebody out there can. What's the percentage of the 4.3 million viewers who clicked the like button if less than 6,000 did so? It's going to be a teeny weeny little percentage of people who actually said, yeah, what a great point. What a great point. Wiz, this seems to me to be a self-deletion of the industry if they do this. And I think the summer is the reckoning. And once we leave that point, there are two paths to take for Hollywood, and they get to decide. But they don't get to thrive unless they go back to making the same stuff we've enjoyed, actually. Darn it, we've actually enjoyed movies for the first time in forever this spring.
Yeah. You know what? And it's Project Hail Mary, Sheep Detectives, which I love Sheep Detectives. But also in the horror genre, Obsession was a really interesting and satisfying movie. It was nasty. I mean, it's a horror movie, so it's brutal, but it was a good movie. And it had an extremely low budget. So people, and also the Obsession horror movie came from a YouTuber, a comedy YouTuber. Yeah. So there you go. So here you find.
Is that the second movie of the year that came from a YouTuber who's broken in now?
Yes. And there's going to be a third one coming too.
That's right.
So the takeover is about to happen. Yeah.
The takeover is happening. And so I stand by what I've said before on this show. What I'm going to continue to say, the Odyssey is the final nail to conventional Hollywood. You've got Chris Nolan directing, the biggest director in Hollywood right now. You have all of the A-lists. You've got Zendaya, Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, Matt Damon, and the list goes on. Even Lupita Nyong'o is a pretty big name in Hollywood for who she is and what she does. So I think this is it. It's the final nail of the final big attempt, and it's going to get all the Oscars. It's going to get all the awards, and I just hope it's actually an interesting movie, and it's not boring. And not that I think it will be boring, but like we're all going to see it here on this panel. I hope it's not a bad movie because we have to watch it. But I do think that this is it, and they know it's it, and I think it's almost poetic whether Nolan knows it or not, that he is producing an adaptation of something that we are extracting maximum value out of and injecting our own ideology and sensibilities.
Let me follow up that, Wiz. Let me follow up with you on that one. Elon Musk, love him, hate him, he's got to be one of the smartest guys on the planet. I know some people just pretend that he, faked his way to all these business situations, but he's chosen this as a battleground that he wants to have. What's the play here? Does he see it your way? Is that what he's looking at here? Is he going to take down Hollywood and try to take over with the new media with X? Is that what this is?
Well, I guess to just kind of reframe what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Hollywood will cease to exist after this.
No. But I mean, does he understand this is
big one, and then after that, it's going to be everybody else?
Has he identified this as an 80-20 with the average audience? With the broader markets, it's an 80-20 issue, and he knows he's going to win, and he's going all in on that?
I think he recognizes. I can't possibly speculate what Elon's thinking. That guy is a 4D chess player. However, he knew, absolutely, I could say this as a matter of fact, he knew that by getting himself involved, it would immediately break containment, and it would become a normie talked about discussion. Whereas maybe before it might have been just us. Maybe it might have been a little bit bigger because it's Nolan, and it would have crossed more streams. But now you've got Elon involved, and he's not going to stop talking about it until the movie's out of the theaters. And even then, he might make jokes. This is breaking containment. More and more people are going to know about this.
Andy, I want to go ahead, Steph.
I was gonna say that's why they had like that whole Times article with Chris Nolan and the 60 Minutes puff piece. Like they're trying to make this look like you have to go and see it. This is fantastic. This is phenomenal, while also not talking about any of the casting decisions. They're very quiet in regards to all of the casting decisions. I completely agree with Wizard. Like, it's the final nail in the coffin. I almost look at it as this is Hollywood's last stand, right? When it comes to all of this agenda pushing, they've got their most well-respected director that all of the actors want to work with. And it's like the goal in Hollywood is to be in a Christopher Nolan movie. They have that director going out and making this movie and casting it like he's casting it. It's their last stand. This is our biggest name in Hollywood, the most well-respected person. He's putting this out. This is our last stand in Hollywood to tell you none of our thinking is going to go out the window. We're still going to push forward with our DEI agenda, whether you like it or not. We've got the big man on campus, and he is putting out this movie regardless of what anybody is saying. And he's casting it this way so he can align with Hollywood. It is their last stand. And I mean, I think that his audience and his fans and people who know Christopher Nolan and like the Christopher Nolan movies are going to go and see it. So it is going to be relatively successful. It's just how successful will it be, right? Because right now you have all of this negativity going towards Christopher Nolan's movie, and they're staying away from all of that negativity. They're not even commenting on it. You have all the trades commenting on it, but Christopher Nolan is keeping it hush hush on it. Not even the actors are commenting on it. You have other actors in Hollywood commenting on it, but none of the actors that are involved in the Odyssey are saying anything or coming out and defending all of the casting or anything like that. So I really do think that this is like their last stand. We've got Christopher Nolan making this movie. We're not changing the way we're doing things in Hollywood. And you're either going to love us, accept us, or you're going to hate us and reject us.
Boy, that is very, very well said, Steph. And what's on the line too, Andy, is if we look at the Michael situation, to follow up on what Steph was saying, if Hollywood can go back to being successful with the kind of stuff that people want, as opposed to this other stuff, the power of movies still exists. This is the proof. It's in the pudding right here. The movie is popular. Suddenly, Michael Jackson songs are in the top 100. And it's not a few of them. 4 weeks in, this is the power of good movies, is that it creates the flywheel. We talk about that so much with Disney, right? If it's a kid's thing, toys are going off the shelves and people are going and getting Happy Meals. If it's a music documentary biopic, suddenly the songs are popular again, right? Bohemian Rhapsody, Queen is like everywhere. This is the power of making films people care about. It's not just Hollywood that benefits. It percolates throughout all of the streams of cultural relevancy. And Andy, they're giving up on that, I think, with some of these films in the summer.
Are we sure that Christopher Nolan was not introduced to the Impractical Jokers, guys?
Well, you think the wool is over our eyes? Who's going to be the one who's tricked in that one, him or us? I don't know.
Here, all right, cast this one. See how people react. Go ahead, I dare you. See if you'll do it. Right. It's going to get all the fanfare. It's going to get all the buzz. There's a lot of people out there in these generations that have no idea where they couldn't find Greece on a map. Their idea of Greek mythology is probably seeing Hercules when they were a kid, the animated version from Disney. There's going to be a lot of people that have no idea what this is about. Gone are the days of the great epics and the great translations of myths into cinematic features. People are going to look at this and we've got some dumb people out there that don't know that Anne Boleyn probably wasn't very melanin enriched. She and it just doesn't matter to them. Like Steph said, the loyalists of Nolan are going to go see this regardless. The people that are just going to roll our eyes with it are just going to be it's going to be very forgettable. And my prediction with this is you're going to find it, no matter how many awards it wins, it's going to be in the $5 bin at Walmart in 3 years. So,
Lauren, final word goes to you. You've loved some of the films that we've had the chance to watch, and it's been a strange place in the channel, but it's been authentic, right? We call balls and strikes. And you and I have had the chance to talk about movies that we have really loved watching. And it's been a long time. And there are still films that we're looking forward to, like Godzilla -0 coming out later. But this summer could be a bummer for Hollywood. I think there's a stark contrast now. A decision must be made. And as the rest are saying it, Christopher Nolan could be the catalyst for change in Hollywood if the rest of the execs look at this and say, There's no money to be made on this.
I sure hope so. I mean, the big question I think for a long time has been, is their priority money or ideology? And I think that question has been somewhat subverted because I think that they were getting money from other sources. And I think that may be why they're pivoting slightly now. I kind of hope that the Odyssey ends up being a giant embarrassment. I hope it's a wake-up call to Hollywood. I hope that they start deciding that the smart thing to do would be to entertain their audiences again, because that's what we really need.
How's the opening to summer with the Mandalorian and Grogu going to go?
It ain't going to be great, I don't think.
Well, that doesn't sound so optimistic then, Lauren. That doesn't sound so optimistic. Well, folks, we'll stay optimistic here, hoping that Hollywood sees that they've been acting like a bunch of derrieres, and please no more one battles after another. We don't need that, okay? I don't want to see a situation where the Odyssey comes out, flops at theaters, Christopher Nolan's worst, but suddenly it's everywhere for the awards. That would not be a great way for cinema to whimper on out of here.
You know, we really hope that you felt this video was satisfactual. We know we had an actual good time participating and communicating with each and every one of you out there listening. It is a great honor. It is a great pleasure, even a responsibility to do this on a daily basis. You give us the dream job we love doing, and for that we can never say thank you enough. There's only one small favor we ask beyond what has already been done, and that is, folks, consider it. That is clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those pesky algorithms. It's the notification bell, and drop a comment right on down below. Let us know your thoughts, because your thoughts do indeed matter, no matter what the mainstream media would otherwise say. Folks, as we say every single time we end these videos, because we mean it, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.